This is Rab Fulton, and I'm in the middle of Barna Woods listening to the wind just now. It's moving above me in the trees, and I'm looking at the autumn leaves that are lovely kind of beaten bronze colour, and then there's all the trees and the rocks are all covered in moss. It's lovely green, so it's very beautiful out here. And I'm doing the recording out here because, of course, we're in the middle of the COVID thing, so we can't do it inside. So I'm in Barna Woods and I'm thinking about other things, other sounds and other landscapes. And there's two sets of landscapes and sounds going through my head. One of the things is how strange it is that where I live I can see over to across Galway Bay, and I can see over to the Burren. And it's one of my favourite parts of the world. But I've not been able to get to the Burren since the start of the new year. It's been about 9 months since I've been to the Burren. And it's really weird. I can see the Burren. And every day when I'm walking or cycling down to the Barna Woods, when I'm down the hill, I can see the Burren across from Galway Bay. The lovely thing is I'm really appreciating it. In the landscape over there and the hills over there, every day they change and the skyscape changes and the water changes. Sometimes it's flat, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's speckled with waves on it. And it's just strange that I can see it but I can't get there. And I have a very strong sense of how our landscapes are shrinking around us. And it's strange because on the news there's things like the SpaceX astronauts going up and, you know, things flying off to Mars and all this. And I can't even get to the Burren, but I can see it, but I just cannot get there. So then I come down to Barna Woods, which I can get to. I can cycle down to Barna Woods and that's lovely. And that sets off a set of memories as well from when I was wee. I always loved landscapes and I always loved seascapes as well. So when I was wee in Scotland, there's an island some of my family live on, and I've been visiting ever since I was wee. Now my own children did visit up to this strange moment. And it's in the west of Scotland, and there's lots of woods there, and different landscapes. You've got the Skeoch Woods, and then you've got Canada Hill. And that's called Canada Hill because that's where people would go up to that hill, and that was the last point they could see the ships that were taking the immigrants away from Scotland. So that was the last time they would see their families before they went off to North America and Canada. And then round there you've got the water, the beautiful water around that part of the world. And the water itself, you see seals and there's otters, and I swim in there. I swim in Galway Bay as well, but they're different. Both waters feel very different. I think Galway Bay because you have more sand and smaller pebbles, whereas the Scottish landscape and the seascape, the water's big round stones under it, and the water feels harder, but it's still a lovely swim. So then I was thinking about my childhood, and how landscapes and seascapes and skyscapes, they shaped my engagement with the world around me, but also voices and stories of people around me, and also my family did really rich speaking what's called Scots dialect, a lot of those very rich words as well, shaping my imagination, shaping the imagination in my head. So there was words, there was languages, there was landscape. And in particular, now I am a writer, a storyteller, a lot of these stories feed into what I write and what I tell. Particularly the telling side of things, I do retell stories from my family. Some of the stories I've retold them so much that I think they've changed, they've mutated and become their own stories now, which is fine, that's what stories do. But one of the things I remember about this landscape in Scotland that stands out to me was my Uncle Jimmy, my father's brother. And he had a very quirky sense of humour, and I love the way of telling stories. So we were at the island once when I was wee. I wasn't that young then, I was about 10 or 11. And we're standing at the shore there. You've got the beautiful water, and then beyond us you've got the Kibble Peninsula. Another lovely green, big landscape there. So my Uncle Jimmy decided he was going to take us out in a rowing boat and row us out into the water for a proper view of things. And me and my brother were very excited about this, and my sister as well, the three of us. We were very excited. So he got a rowing boat, he got us all in. This, of course, was before health and safety, so of course there was no any health and safety at all. I think the nearest we got to health and safety was a bottle of iron brew to keep the thirst away. That was it. So what Uncle Jimmy did, he got us to row, take turns rowing. We said it'd be good for our exercise, keep rowing. And basically, he opened up his packet of cigarettes and started smoking a cigarette. And basically what he'd done is he'd got these three children to take him on a trip out into the waters, rowing. And but it was very pleasant. And he was telling us to row faster and faster. And us children were taking turns about, struggling with these big oars, trying to keep the boat faster and faster. And he's obviously amused, having his cigarette and feeling quite pleased. And we were obviously starting to tire a wee bit. He said, "Don't tire. It's happening. It's happening now." And of course, as children, we were like, "What's happening?" He said, "Well, the thing is, you know the earth spins round in one direction. Oh, here's a lovely dog come to talk to us. Hello!" And you're panting away. And you've got a lovely waggy tail as well. You do. Oh, hello and cheerio. Cheerio. There was always dogs in my family as well. There was no dogs in the rowing boat. Well, we could stick a dog in. It's my telling now. So, we're in the rowing boat. He's saying, you know, the earth turns on its axis. We're like that, aye. He says, well, do you know what happens if you actually turn the earth the other axis, goes the other direction? We said, no. He said, well, the earth goes one direction. But if you actually go the other direction, opposite the turn of the earth, if you go fast enough, you can actually go back in time. And that's why you have aeroplanes and all this, because they're trying to get faster and faster and faster to see if they can go back in time. Oh, we were amazed at this. My Uncle Jimmy said, aye, there was a time here, all this landscape, it was full of dinosaurs. And what we're actually doing out here is we're doing an experiment. We're going to see if we can row this boat so fast in the opposite direction of the Earth's axis that we're going to go so fast that we're going to actually go back in time and see the dinosaurs. We were very excited with this. And he struck up another cigarette, puffed some more. He said, are you ready, children, now? Really fast rowing. We're like, oh yes, Uncle Jimmy. And we grabbed a couple of the oars and we rowed. And it was so fast and it was so exciting. And I couldn't even see the landscape. I was so focused on just the rowing part. And all the time Uncle Jimmy's saying, faster, faster. It's coming. The dinosaurs are coming. They're coming. And then he said, oh, they're here now. And I swear I looked up and I looked towards the shore. And just for 1 second, I saw a massive triceratops paddling in the water there. And then it was gone. But I didn't mind. For 1 wee second, I actually went back in time. And my Uncle Jimmy, he got his nice day out in the water and he had his cigarette. We all got exercise and we got to see dinosaurs. And I guess what I learnt then was that stories are very real and they're a fun way and they can take you places. And I've always enjoyed that. And even now I know now and as an adult that I didn't go back in time, when I think back in that moment, I can still see that triceratops as real and as vivid as anything. So now we're here in the middle of the COVID with landscapes and seascapes and skyscapes, and we still have stories and we still have all wonderful languages and ideas and imagination. And I guess for my children, there'll be things now that they're seeing and wondering about. And I'm hoping that imaginative side, that wonderful side, will stay alive for them decades from now.